men should not be paying 100% of the bills if you are in a relationship. All right. Black men should not be paying 100% of the bills if you are in a relationship. And I'm going to break down why. But before we get into it, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Now, I understand that when I come on and make a video like this, I'm going to get what's called hate, right? I'm going to get what's called negative comments, right? I'm going to get people in the comment section saying that that's beta behavior. That's beta. Real men, they don't split bills. Real men, they just handle stuff by themselves. And I'm here to tell you, do not let somebody fumble your bag because they are trying to trick you into adhering to an ideology that you didn't even realize you knew about before you logged onto the internet. Before you started watching Kevin Samuels and Fresh and Fit and Anton and all these other people, you thought nothing about what it meant for you to be a real man, and you didn't feed into all this stuff. You saw people online telling you what to do with your money and telling you you're not a real man if you don't spend your money and your time the way they said that you should spend it. And so now you have it in your mind that you got to do all these things to impress people. Pretty much, if you're a black man and you're paying 100% of the bills, that's like you keeping up with the Joneses. If you are a black man in a relationship, you're paying 100% of the bills, and you are making the median income, you are essentially trying to keep up with the Joneses. That's what we're dealing with in 2025. And I'm going to break it down, and I'm going to talk about nuance, because I do feel like there are exceptions, and I do feel like, you know, it's not black and white. But for the most part, most black men should not be paying 100% of the bills in a relationship. And I'm going to break it down logically, and I'm going to break it down from a non-emotional perspective. All right, let's go. All right. So it's 2025, right? The year is 2025. I know people like to live try to act like we're in the BC before Christ or whatever when it comes to these conversations, but y'all ain't really living like that. But for some reason, when it comes to these money conversations, y'all want to live like that. But it's 2025, right? Women make up about 50% of the workforce. Women make up about 50% of the workforce. And we are told as men that they should not contribute to the bills because that's a man's job. But I want y'all to think about this, right? And make sure you hit the like button if you're in the stream. I want y'all to think about this, how stupid that sounds. Because they make it seem like women weren't contributing throughout history. That it was the men going out and just, you know, paying the bills. One, we didn't even have money at a certain point. We bartered. We bartered. All right. So there wasn't even a monetary system for men to go out and earn an income. As a matter of fact, we used to live in what's called agrarian, like agriculture cultures, where you lived off of your own land. And guess what? Guess what women were doing? Women in like the 1800s, they were doing more physical labor than most men today. That's right. Most men sit behind a computer in an air-conditioned room and work. Most women back then were putting in more physical labor than men today. But we're told that women have just always kind of sat around while men went out and earned and provided, and that's not true. That's a new age thing that they tell you because they want you to live or dream about how things were in the 1950s when you could afford to live off of one income. But before then, in the early 1900s, women were also going to work, working in factories as seamstresses. As a matter of fact, children were working. The kids were working. Pretty much the whole household was working in order to pay the bills. At a certain point, kids weren't even in school. Kids were not even in school. So when you hear this notion that a man is supposed to provide 100% even if the woman is working, it's BS, because then the question becomes, What is the woman doing with her money? If women make up 50% of the workforce, and we know they do, what are they doing with their money if men are paying 100% of the bills? Now, I know that there's some people that are going to say, well, don't let her pay any bills. Let her invest, right? This is how dumb people act. Let her invest. Let her invest and then the money grows. Okay, so she invests her money today. And let's say 30 years in the future, y'all are still together. Right? Y'all got married, happily ever after. 30 years in the future, she's invested this money all this time. She hasn't paid bills because you're too proud for her to pay bills. She's invested the money, all right? When y'all retire and you're living off of that investment, who's paying the bills? If y'all are living off of her investments in your retirement, who's paying the bills? Her! Because that was her money, right? That's not y'all's money. That was her money that she went and she invested it. And now she's paying her investments are paying the bills, right? So she can pay the bills later, but not now. She can help with bills later because she's been investing the money, but not now. See, people don't think things through. And that's why I think more dudes need to start acting like Mr. Krabs. You know, from SpongeBob? Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob. Someone said her money is her money, but my money is our money. Like, that's how they want it to be, but that's not the truth. Because, and here's what I don't understand. What I don't understand is some people will say, well, some women will say, well, if I don't want to split the bills. If I'm in a relationship, he got to pay 100%. What are you paying when you're single? Like, just logically, even if you split the bills with somebody and you're a woman, you're still paying about half of what you would have paid, right? If you were single. If you're split, so just from a monetary standpoint, you're still walking away with more discretionary income as a woman if you split the bills with the dude. So you're not even losing in that situation, but you're not thinking. You're not thinking straight because someone's told you that it's a man's job to provide for you no matter what, just because you have a vagina and you got in a relationship with them. But what we know is what percentage of marriages end in divorce? I think it's like 50%, right? So you as the man, you're out here, la, 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 100%. And then y'all get divorced and you've invested all this money and time and she walks away with 100% of her money. Someone said 49% of end in divorce. We got a comment that says, no man should be trying to pay everything. Any woman pushing that isn't in the right reasons. Women in many cultures work and contribute. Exactly. And understand this, right? They make it seem as if, and here's my whole problem with this. Whatever works for your family, I'll say that. Whatever works for your family works for your family. I just don't like the notion that you're not a real man if your wife pays bills. You're not a real man if your girl pays bills. You're not a real man if this. Listen, I'll be a fake man with us having our bills paid and then being able to afford investments. I'll be a fake man if we're able to do everything we're able to do and live a better life because we're both contributing. Now, if you and your wife decide that she's going to be a stay-at-home mom or whatever, to me, that's a different story. That could be a different story. But if she's working and you're working, and at the end of the month, it's like, my money pays the bills and your money I don't even think about, you can kiss my ass. You can kiss my ass. Just like the whole reason why we even believe it's a man's job to pay 100% of the bills is because it was a political thing to get people to have nostalgia about how it was in the 1950s and 60s when you could actually afford to do that. Someone said that ain't alpha though. Oh, okay. Go. You know what's not alpha? Bitching and complaining about a woman taking 50%. You know, That's what a lot of men do. They'll complain when they get divorced that a woman took 50%, but then during the relationship, you don't want her to help you with bills because you don't feel like, so you're okay with giving the money in the divorce, but you're not okay with hedging your bet, right? Like a lot of these dudes are like, well, I'm trying to protect myself. That's why I'm not getting married. I'll sleep with her, I'll have a kid, but I'm not getting married because she's going to take my money. If it's really about the money, why don't you have her pay bills during that time so that you can save up some money so you have a little cushion in case y'all get divorced and she takes some? It's not about the money. And all these dudes talking about, that's not alpha. That's alpha. That's beta. You just learned what that was 5 minutes ago. You didn't grow up. No one grew up like, I'm an alpha. Nobody did that. When I was growing up, if you would have told me, if you'd have said, hey, she's going to earn money, but you're going to be responsible for all the bills, I would have looked at you dead in your face and said, you a lie. You a lie. That don't even make sense. Where are we getting all these rich people that can afford to live off of one income? Where are we getting them? To me, this is like the person that goes out and gets a car payment and can't afford it. That's what you look like trying to live off of one income when you're barely scraping by and you know you need that vacation and you want them Beyonce tickets and you want to live above your means and you're trying to do it all on one income. It's stupid. We got some comments. Let me read them off. I am answering all super chats as well. If you want to drop a super chat, support the channel. I really appreciate it. Someone said, back when you could buy a house for $50K. Yep, back when you could. And that's the nostalgia era that people always like to point to. Well, we did it in the 1950s. Okay, that's an anomaly. Women buy tons of shit on Amazon. They do. They do. And you know what? You know what happens is before people get in a relationship, they don't talk about spending. They don't talk about money. They don't talk about these things. And then they get in the relationship and find out she addicted to Amazon. Amazon got to sell 20% off. She don't even use the shit, but she got to have it because it's on sale. And you got to pay for it because you're the man. And that's what men do, right? You just go to work. Hey, I'm going to work. I'm going to work. Here's some money to go pay for something you don't need and get mad when I say something about it and then tell me I'm not a man if I want you to contribute. And I'm not saying this is me, but this is what they would like us to believe. They would like us to believe that you're not a real man if you make a smart financial decision and say, hey, I'll give you a strategy, right? I'll give you a strategy. If you just, like, let's say you're 23 years old and you got with a chick, right? Y'all don't have any kids and you're working, she's working. If y'all lived off of one income, meaning that you lived below your means, you didn't go buy some expensive house or you didn't go live somewhere expensive, you just got somewhere like the bare minimum to where you could live off of one income and save the other income for like 3 years. If y'all were focused and in line doing that, even if she only made $20,000 a year, in 3 years, y'all would have $60,000 saved up. Now, $20,000 is not a lot of money. Most people can make more than that working a full-time job, but that's just to show you $60,000 for y'all to have a nest egg so that she can stop working and y'all can have a little bit of a cushion. That's more than most people have today. That's more than the average American has. The average American cannot afford a $700 unexpected bill. So if y'all got together and for 3 years, let's say that she saved up her money, y'all's money, I say y'all's money, but she saved up a money, a nest egg, y'all had a joint account or whatever, and y'all had $60,000 saved up, at minimum, I'm saying, and then she stopped working, I would be more willing to accept that. But what I won't accept is she's working, her money is her money, your money is our money, and then you look stupid over here trying to pay for everything when you have a whole other income because someone said you're not a real man if she helps with the bills. That's stupid. That's like you're starving and you can't eat food that she got, but y'all in a relationship. Y'all too focused on trying to be a real man instead of trying to be real smart. That's what I don't understand. Someone said, I'm not paying for that ish. Marriage is the leading cause of divorce in our nation today, not money. It's funny. Said the patriarchy is evil. Why would we be living off of one income? Great question. So when I say live off of one income, I'm talking about surviving off of it, one income. I want to make that clear. When we typically think of living off of one income, I'm saying live within your means, barely scraping by, meaning no eating out, making those sacrifices in the short term so that in the long term, maybe you guys could afford to live off of one income if she's a stay-at-home mom and y'all have children and you don't want to pay the cost of daycare. That's the offsetting thing, because daycare, if you have one child, you're gonna be forking out about probably $1,500 to $2,000 a month on daycare if you want a high quality daycare. Now, with the average income, she may be pulling in about $3,500 a month. A majority of that income, or if you want to pay it, a majority of the whatever person's income is going to go towards daycare. So it may not make financial sense, especially if you have more than one kid, for her to even work. So that's why I'm saying one income. But if y'all pay off debt, if y'all take some time to pay off debt, save up $40,000, $50,000 where one person's income is going towards just saving for 2 or 3 years before you have kids, and then you have that nest egg for emergencies, and then the other person is constantly growing in their career, there's a way for it to work. That's the only point I'm saying. But if y'all don't have kids, or even if you do have kids and you can afford daycare and there's still something left, and then in 4 or 5 years they go off to school and you don't have to pay daycare, that will work. But my whole point is this: if she's working, her money should be going towards paying bills as well. If she's not working, there better be a good damn reason. She's homeschooling the kids. She's taking care of the kids so y'all don't have to do the daycare, and with her income, it wouldn't really make sense for her to work. But after the kids go to school and stuff, maybe she goes back to work. I'm with that. My whole point is black men, the median income for black men is $51,000 a year. That means 50% of black men make less than make 51,000 or less. 51,000 or less. 50% of black men. You tell me if that's a sustainable income to raise an entire family off of with no help and no resources and no savings. It's not. Someone said a working woman in your house not contributing at all is wild to me, right? And I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna get in trouble, but I'm gonna say it anyways. You know, after 3-4 months, she ain't putting out the punani like that when she not paying no bills. It's like you would think, oh, well, she not paying no bills and blah, blah, blah. But no, you probably still gonna get the same treatment as if she paying all the bills. So it's not a good trade-off. And financially, y'all are much better off with 2 incomes, especially if you don't have children and you're really trying to grow, especially if she wants this marriage. I'm not paying for this wedding, bruh. It's 2025. Any dude paying for a wedding and you not making at least $70,000, $80,000 a year, you getting played. And even if you making that money, you getting played. I'm going to just say, if you paying for a wedding in 2025, you getting played. You getting played. You better off. I'm not even finna say it. I ain't even finna say it. Someone said, which one is it? Are men providers or not? Great question. Men are providers, but we also have to redefine what provider means. Just because you're a provider does not mean that you have to be the sole provider. That does not mean that if she's making money, that her money does not have to contribute to the household. We've boxed ourselves in with these definitions of provider and not provider. What is it? Like before there was even money and we were bartering and living off of the land, were we not providers because we didn't have money? We didn't use money? Of course we were providers. If you're providing for your family in the best way possible, but you're still short on bills, you're a provider. If you're a millionaire and you're completely supporting your family, you're a provider. Just because you need help from a woman to have the lifestyle that y'all want does not mean you're not a provider. It just means that you're providing the best way that you can, right? That's what I think of as a provider. It's not just providing money either. It's providing, like if y'all have children, structure, discipline. It's providing emotional support. It's providing the presence of a man. A lot of women don't realize how important just the presence of a man is. And so people so focused on money, but that's not all providing actually is. Providing insight, providing leadership, providing a shoulder to cry on when things are getting tough, providing stability. Like, it's not just about money. Someone said using women as a means to elevate you is insanity. No, it's not a means to elevate me. This is where it's jacked up. It's not a means to elevate me, because if it were just me, and I'm not even saying this is my situation. I'm saying if it were just a single dude, he would be paying 100% of his bills, right? If you get in a relationship with a woman and she's bringing in an income, right? We'll say like when you first get in a relationship with a woman, unless she's like a bum living at her parents' house, she's already paying for her bills. She's paying for 100% of her bills already. So you're supposed to get into a relationship with a chick. Y'all are supposed to be together, live in the same household. She's probably making around the same amount of money that you're making, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, but probably around the same amount. And her money that's not even a good use of the money. If y'all are building together, that's not even a good use of the money for her to just not be accountable for anything, for her to not be contributing to the household. Where is that money going? Where's the money going? So it's about building together, not using her to elevate us. Because let's be real, most dudes are simple. Most dudes would live on a cardboard box if they didn't plan on having a family. Most dudes are simple. Straight up, most dudes are simple. Get a basic couch, basic little chair, get me a little TV, maybe a game system, go shopping every 2 to 3 days at the grocery store, have a little bit. That's it. We do all of these things for our family. So if you have an income and you want to contribute to, you should be contributing to the family as well. Instead of your money's over here in your pot and I'm over here slaving 60, 70 hours a week for the family, what are you doing? If you have an income, what are you doing? Someone says selfish and lazy. Yep, I'll be beta then. Reading these comments off. Either you afford a family or work harder. Yeah, you can work harder or you can work smarter. You can work together and be on one accord. That's what I'm saying. People just so caught up in these labels and these ways of doing things that don't even benefit them. We talk about, I'm going to get real here. We talk about wealth in the black community and we need to pool our dollars together. The black community needs to keep the black dollar in the community. You won't even pull your dollar together in your household. What are you talking about? You won't even pull your dollars together in your household, but you talking about the black community needs to pull their dollars together? We need to keep the money in the community, but you won't even keep it in your household? When it come election time, we need to form a party. We need to form a party so we can go vote as a collective. You won't even work as a collective in your house with your wife because you think it's not manly enough for her to be paying bills. You won't even pull your resources together. But you want a black party, a black political party for us to pull our resources and to keep the black dollar in the black community? You're not even united with your wife. You can't even let go of your ego to say, hey, I make 51,000, you make 38,000 or whatever. Together, that's 80-something thousand. Let's pull that together and build wealth and do what we need to do to make sure that we're putting ourselves in the best position. Can't have that, right? Because that's beta. Someone said in Europe, women pitch in. Asia, LOL. In fact, going Dutch is Europe culture. Yep. People got to get out of the big city rat race. You can have a nice big garden in the country near us. They're hiring entry level for $29 an hour. Rural Wisconsin. That's a pretty good wage. Maybe I should start putting white on my job apps. Hey, you could leave it blank. I know a lot of job applications that say decline. Someone said, women having to sacrifice to elevate a ninja ain't happening. Homeschooling is work. Let the man homeschool the kids if it's not work. Yeah, I don't disagree. Homeschooling is work, and if you're going to homeschool, you probably should be able to afford living life off of one income, but that requires the woman to not be a shopaholic. That requires y'all to be on one accord and realize that it's going to take some time for that man, especially if you guys marry in your 20s, for him to earn a high enough income for y'all to have more of a luxurious lifestyle or to be able to do more. That's why you have to be on one accord. When I say black men should not be paying 100% of the bills, understand that I'm talking about the average black man, because the average black man, the median, like I said, is only $51,000. And the average black woman, what we know is she's addicted to materialism. She has to shop at Fashion Nova. She has to get a new summer wardrobe, a new winter wardrobe. She needs the purse. She needs the car. She needs the BMW. So understand that you also have to get with the woman, if you are going to live off of one income and it's not going to be that much, you have to get with the woman that understands sacrifice and that understands that y'all aren't going to be able to live the lifestyle she sees on Instagram for a while. It may take 10, 15 years. So in the meantime, if she not willing to wait, then you got to pitch in, baby. If you not willing to live off of this 51,000, then you got to pitch in. And if you going to be ungrateful about this 51,000, you need to pitch in. That's my point. Someone said they should not even have a family at 51K. I would agree for the most part, but I would also say that it depends. It depends. Some people can make it work off at $51,000. They can go shop at Goodwill. They don't have to live this luxurious lifestyle, especially if you don't have debt. If you don't have debt and you're making $51,000, you may have more take-home pay when you calculate, what someone's debt payments are and what someone's student loans are. So it can work. It can work if y'all are willing to make it work. But I don't think most people can live off of $51,000 if you have a family, because there's not that unity and there's not that understanding. Someone said mine was $240K while working as a police officer for Chicago. Cool. Bro, if my woman was making money and wanted me to stay at home and school the kids, I would want that. Hey, I'm saying, and guess what? I would have no problem. If you have a woman, and look, I'm going to say this. It takes a strong dude to do this. If you have a woman that you trust, that you love, and y'all have serious conversations where you decide it would be best for you to stay home and homeschool the children, for her to take care of the money, for whatever reason. Maybe she's a CPA. Maybe she went to school and she's a lawyer. Whatever the case is, if you can do that, and that's what makes you fulfilled, don't let anyone stop you from doing that. Don't let anyone stop you from doing that, right? We have to get over this idea that a man is only a man if he's doing this. We have to get over that idea. It's 2025. They trying to make us live off of an idea that really didn't even work and wasn't stable for long. And we live in the most prosperous country that has ever existed. And now they're trying to tell you, you're not a man if you're not... think about it. Go read... There's a book called In the Jungle, I think. And it talks about kind of like factory life in the 1920s. And it talked about, there's this dude, he was working, his wife was working, his children were working in a factory. They were all working. Was he not a man? Because his family had to work too to help pay the bills. He was a man. He went and gave it his all every single day. And if your family unit has decided what your role would be, that you would be best suited homeschooling, good luck with it. Someone said men want a maid, a mule, and mattress. Single and childless or child-free is the real flex. I don't agree with that. Someone said 51K, you can't live off that. 51, is that the median or average income? That's the median. So the median is 51, or 50% is over it, 50% is under it. So the median for black men is $51,000. So 51,000 is what 50% or less of black men make. Someone said, we're provider to a real one, not a simp. Masculine role as a provider is so old-fashioned. Right, and I think the definition of what provider is has been changed so much that it doesn't even mean anything. Someone said provider means pay all the bills. If you need help, you are not a provider. I guess you're not a provider. Provider doesn't mean just bring money, bro. We have to look at tradition. How did men in the past provide? Men in the past provided in multiple ways. Protection, yes, some money, but it was also through their labor, their hard work, just their presence. The presence of a man is not appreciated. I'm telling you, that's the real value. The presence of a man is not appreciated in society today. It's just not appreciated. Like, I'm gonna give you an example. Have you ever went around a single mother, like as a man? Have you ever went around a single mom or been around a woman when she's with her child, and you kind of like just observing how she speak, and then when you're there, they act completely different. That child be talking crazy when they don't see a man around. But then you as a man, you step in or you're just there, they straighten up quick. The presence of a man is more valuable than people give it credit for. It's not just about money. It's not just about money. Someone said, we got married at the courthouse, $50. Yep, that's the way to do it. Love itself is your heart. Providing an oil change to your wife's car so she doesn't destroy it. Someone said, women thrive independently, men thrive with women. Men need companionship. Women have other relationships outside of romantic entanglements. I don't know. I'm going to read some more of these comments. Focus on getting your money up. Reading some of these comments. These are great questions. I'm trying to find a question. Yep, Upton Sinclair, The Jungle. Great book. All right, we got a question right here, a statement. The presence of a man, man means what? Crime and punishment to the children? Oh, please. Nah, I mean, like I said, the presence of a man is important. We got a comment. Good evening, y'all. We just talking about, if you're getting in the stream right now, black men should not be paying 100% of the bills for the most part. Median income of a black man in the United States is $51,000. That means that 50% of black men, 50% of black men make $51,000 or less. So that is why I'm saying, if you are in a relationship and she's earning money, she needs to be contributing. If she's not earning money, she needs to either be a stay-at-home mom and understand that we're not going to be living this luxury lifestyle, and she's going to have to be appreciative and understand her role. and understand that, you know, it takes time to build money and wealth off of one income. I don't think most women are willing to wait that out. And the argument that I'm seeing is not for women that want to be stay-at-home mothers. It is for women that are earning money that say their money is their money and the man's money is our money. That's BS. That's BS. If you're in the live stream right now, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're in the live stream right now, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We are almost at 2,000 subscribers. I appreciate everyone who's ever supported the channel, helping us grow this platform. Also, if you want to drop a super chat, drop a super chat. Help super chat tonight. All right, let me read some more questions. If y'all have any questions or y'all want to say anything, drop a comment and I'll be reading them off. $49,000 median for black men, $57,000 for black households. So, yeah, that to me, that's not enough for one income. That's not enough for one. You need every dollar that you can get. That's not enough for one income with the lifestyle that women want to do. That's not a lifestyle. If she's earning money, she should be contributing. If y'all have a child, it may not make sense for her to work because daycare may be more than she's earning. So I understand that perspective. But y'all gonna have to live frugal. The man's gonna have to learn a high-paying skill and work his way up, and that's gonna take patience from him and her, and y'all have to be on one accord. Y'all have to be on one accord, right? If you're gonna do it, if you're gonna live off of one income and you make $51,000 or less, you have to be on one accord. And these are probably the best stories that end up happening, because if a man and a woman can make it work off of $51,000 and he's paying all the bills, that means that she has to be providing value. And if she's providing value and y'all make it through this, this is probably the best situation that a woman can be in, because that man will appreciate you for holding it down when he didn't make as much money. But if she making money and she done went to college and she got a degree and she working at CarMax or she got her money and stuff like that, it should be being contributed to the household, and y'all should not just be trying to live off of that one income. Got a comment. Victorious One said, great conversation, but don't on women and claim leadership. Don't depend on women and claim leadership. That would be a fallacy. The truth is you are a roommate and you need help. Marry before you carry. Yeah, it's not necessarily, I don't consider it relying on a woman, because you could just be single. You're not relying on her to pay your bills necessarily. You're relying on her to contribute to the household so that y'all can build something greater than y'all could build separately, right? That's the whole point. Y'all got together, you want a family, you want to get married, you want to raise children, but individually it may be difficult to do that because you may not make enough. But if we pull our resources together and we struggle together and we get this money together and now we can build something together, then we can have this lifestyle that we want, or get closer to it in less time. She may not have to work forever, but if she is working, she needs to be contributing to the household. And like I said, it's not gonna be a cookie cutter, every like one size fits all type of deal. That's the beautiful thing about marriage, is you figure it out, and everyone's situation is gonna be unique. But if you're making $51,000 a year or less, and she's able to work, and y'all, especially if y'all don't have kids and she's not like a stay-at-home mom and she's not homeschooling or whatever, y'all need to pull them resources together and build wealth and try to build something that's going to be better than what you could do individually. Again, appreciate y'all for tapping in. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new to the channel. Thank you for everyone that's already hit the like button and subscribed to the channel. Ooh, Victorious One said, who cares what you think? Either you can afford a family or you can't. Either you can afford a family or you can't. I would disagree with that, because what does afford mean? Again, people have different lifestyles. If you're with a woman who's not a shopaholic, who doesn't have student loan debt, you don't have student loan debt, you don't have personal debt, she doesn't have, that's completely different. That $51,000 then could go a longer way. It can go a longer way. So it's not just a one size fits all, right? And I think more of it is ego, because you can't tell me that all these men are out here scared to lose this money during divorce, but you don't want her to pay bills. You don't want her to pay bills in the meantime because now you're not a man. My thing is this: if men want to pay 100% of the bills, fine. Then you should have no problem taking care of her if y'all divorce. Because for you to ask somebody to not work and not pay bills, what you're doing is you're lowering their market value if y'all were to be divorced and then they have to go out and try to find a job. What would your market value be if y'all are married for 10 years and she didn't work during those 10 years? Do you think her market value is going to be high when she goes back into the workplace? Is she going to be able to afford to live? Is that how you want to send somebody off that you once loved? Is that what you want to do? So you either have to be okay with paying for a woman when you get divorced, or you have to be okay with her earning a living, being able to provide and earn money, so that if y'all don't work out, she can go provide for herself. But a lot of men, they just, oh, well, we're not married no more. I don't want to provide for her. To me, that's stupid, because you asked her to not work. You don't want her to work because you wanted to feel like a man. But then after y'all get done, what position is she in? I know that's beta behavior. You a simp, you simping for women. No, I'm just thinking of it from a fair perspective. If somebody asked me to not work because of their feelings, because they wouldn't feel like themselves, don't work. Okay, if I'm not working then if we don't work out, how am I going to take care of myself when I go back in the workforce? I saw a video by Ben Shapiro. He's Jewish, and he was talking about how in their culture, when they get married, there's this almost like a life insurance policy, but like a pot of money that they put in for the woman in case there's a divorce. I think that's a great idea. I think that's a great idea, because if you're going to ask somebody to not work, you at least need to be able to take care of them if y'all break up, because you didn't want them to work. Someone said it's a partnership. Lots of women and men have no clue what that means. Someone said, Kira Terry said, preach. Someone said, I'm talking about a partnership. Yes, empathy is the peak of human strength and wisdom. Many have no frame of reference as to how to be successful. Poor parent or parent example, society pays the price, billions in social welfare. Yeah, I agree. And so, yeah, when I think of marriage, like, I'm married, right? I'm married. So what that means to me is, if I'm going to be a provider for my wife and I'm going to say, hey, don't go work. Don't take advantage of your skill set. Don't go out in the world and try to earn an income and make yourself more valuable in the marketplace, because I got you. If for whatever reason it doesn't work out, I still feel like that's my responsibility, because I asked her not to work and I made it to where she wasn't able to increase her value in the marketplace. But what she was able to do is increase the value of our family. She was able to increase my value, because now I'm able to have my children and know that they're in good hands when I'm at work trying to provide. And so I wouldn't leave someone hanging. So I think if men truly want women to be stay-at-home moms, or they don't want the women to work because you want to feel good about yourself and feel like a man, keep being a man if y'all don't work out. Keep being a man if y'all don't work out, and provide for that person who you ask to not increase the value of their skill set in the marketplace. Keep providing for them. But oh no, we're not married no more. So I shouldn't have to take care of her. Never mind the fact that I asked her not to work so that I could feel a certain way about myself. That's how I view it. That's how I view it. Be a man full circle. Who's really not a man? The man that will sit there and say, okay, woman, don't go work because I want to feel like a man. And guess what? If we don't work out, you're on your own. Or the one that says, hey, I got you. I got you no matter what. That's what true marriage is. True, like someone said earlier, you're a roommate if she pays bills. No, it's not a roommate because we're both working towards the same goal. We're on one accord. Y'all want this? Y'all always talk about the story of the woman being there and helping the man build his business and all this other stuff. But y'all don't really understand that, we live in a country now where it is just unaffordable for most people to support a family on one income. But most people still want a family. And if the only thing holding you back is your feelings, I don't feel like a man if she's paying some of the bills. Get over yourself. Get over yourself. Are you going to feel like a man if y'all get divorced and you have to pay child support and now you can barely afford your bills? Are you going to feel like a man then when all of you've been pouring all of your resources and she's been saving all of her money and putting it aside and now she walks away with your money and her money? Are you going to feel like a man then? Like at what point do we have to say, I'm a man regardless and this is stupid? It's stupid for me to get in a relationship with somebody who has student loan debt, pay their student loan debt off when they're capable of working and they're sitting at home. But no, I want to take care of it all because I don't feel like a man. Where did you even get that idea from? Where? Kawag said, you're a smart man. Appreciate it. Snuffles TV said 50,000 is enough if you budget and get out of the city and there's always a trailer park. Exactly. 50,000 is enough if you do budget correctly, if you don't have a bunch of debt, if you're not using credit cards, if you buy your car cash and you're not trying to buy the newest car and all this other crazy stuff, if you live frugal, if you don't go spend your tax refund on new shoes, if you take your kids to Goodwill and shop there, if you don't need a summer wardrobe and a winter wardrobe and a fall wardrobe and the new hamburger came out at Rodeo Goat and we got to go try it. No, if you eat at home, you do all these things, you can make it. But you want a lifestyle you can't afford. You want a lifestyle you can't afford, and on top of that, you want to finance it 100% to make you feel like a man. And then if you get divorced, you want to turn around and say, oh, she's taking me for everything I got because you didn't want her to work. What is she supposed? What would you do? What would you do if someone asked you to not work and now you don't have anything and you can't go provide for yourself? What would you do? Will stay in the relationship. All right, bro. All right, stop going to Starbucks. Put on a flannel shirt. Exactly. Kira Terry says, spot on, sir. Hi from UK. You're a catch. Your wife knows she's lucky. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. And, I think it comes down to just being a good and fair person. Being a good and fair person. I remember, and here's how you know you have a good one, right? I remember around the time we were about to have our first child. I was working as a real estate agent. I had closed some deals. We had about $10,000 in savings, and I was close to closing another 2 deals that would have, got us about another $12,000, $15,000. And I remember my wife wanting to just go work. She wanted to go work, and she actually went and did this like little day job at a football center or a football game where she was doing concessions at the game. She didn't have to, but she wanted to try to contribute. And it's those things that make a man want to provide 100%. It's those things that make a man say, no, I got this. And that's what I don't think a lot of women realize when they sit there and say, well, that man should pay the 100% of the bills, even if I'm making money. If you approach it like that, you're never going to get a man that wants to 100% take care of you, because he's going to believe that you're just in it for the money. When you have a woman that's willing to say, I'll go work at Target if we need it, I'll go do Amazon if we need it, that's what's going to actually push the man to be like, that's the last resort. If we need it, we need it, but I'm going to try to make it to where we don't have to do that. That's what's actually going to get you there, right? Of course, every man's goal is to try to provide for their family 100% when it comes to finances. That's most dudes' goals. But the reality is, it's just tough. And don't feel like less of a man if your woman pays bills. Don't feel like less of a man. What you should do is be like, okay, we're in this together. We're building together. Let me go out and do the best that I can do to provide. And then whatever hand that is, that's what hand it is. Don't feel like less of a man. Don't be thinking and buying into all of the things that you see on the internet. You're still a human being. You're still a person that has values. And you're good. You're good. Let me read some of these comments. Someone said, women, the key to relationship according to men is your self-sacrifice. Nope. Get your education and your own money. Power, control, ego. No, I mean, women are going and getting an education and their own money anyways. My thing is this: if they're making money, they should be contributing to the household. If they're making money, they should be contributing to the household. And if you want to say that they should go invest it, y'all are going to be living off that investment one day, so she's still paying the bills. It's just in the future. If men would get over their egos with this whole, I just want to feel like a man, you would be wealthier quicker. You would be what I heard somebody say, and this was crazy to me. I heard somebody say, if they're in a relationship with a woman, right? If they're in a relationship, this was crazy. Someone said online, if they are in a relationship with a woman and they get with her, and let's say that they're both making $60,000 a year. He's making $60,000, she's making $60,000. That if for whatever reason she got promoted at her job and was now making like $90,000, she should turn that promotion down, because that would be disrespectful for her to be making more than her man. So she should give up an opportunity to make $30,000 more, because then that would make her income higher than his. This is the point that we've gotten to in society, where men are really saying, turn down a promotion at your job if it means that you're going to be making more than me. And the reason why is because your paycheck is the only substance you have. Your paycheck is you can't even make a good joke. You can't even have good conversation. Maybe you don't have good D. Maybe there's no character traits that she finds valuable in you now. Right? Like if it's all about money to you, then it's going to be all about money to her. Think about it. Have you ever been in a situation with her where she's seen good character traits in you? Have you put yourself in those situations? Like, what is it outside of money that you're offering? What is it outside of money that you're offering? Because to me, that spells insecurity. If you're willing to tell your woman, don't take a promotion because you're going to be making more money than me, I don't know what else to call that. Snuffles TV said, my grandma always said, don't want it, don't need it. She experienced the Great Depression. Yep. Don't want it, don't need it. Good women appreciate the small daily gestures. Yep. No man is being hypergamous off my hard work, effort, and training. Kara Terry said, it's not love if you expect women to cower to your ego. Love is supporting each other and celebrating each other's success. Exactly. Exactly. Um, and here's another thing. I don't know if y'all saw this, right? I don't know if y'all saw this. Um, the Charlie Kirk assassination. I'm sure everyone's heard about that. His wife is now the CEO of the organization. And that really stood out to me because this is the type of woman that a lot of men say they want. They want a woman that will build with them, that will hold them down when times get tough. Let me ask you this. I genuinely want to know. I genuinely want to know. If you are a man and you want a woman to hold you down when things are tough, but she is not even allowed to, I guess, progress from a financial standpoint, from improving her marketable skills because of your ego, how is that going to happen? How is she ever going to hold you down? That's my question. Why is her success threatening to you? It's because money is all that you have to offer. Money is all that you have to offer. Money is all that you see. When money is all that you have to offer, and we can learn something from children, right? We can learn something from children because I have multiple children. Not one time have they asked, how much money do you make? Why? Because I bring more to the table than money. I bring more to the table than money. But when all you bring to the table is money, all you're left with at the table is someone that wants you for your money. Someone that wants you for your money. Kira Terry said, love is the reward. I agree. I agree. I mean, the way that I'm looking at it is if you're single, you're paying 100% of the bills. If you're a man or a woman and you're not living like with your parents or something. If you are single, you're paying 100% of the bills. So you're already winning if y'all split the bills when you get in a relationship because you have more discretionary income. Unless y'all just go live some crazy lifestyle. But to me, it's a win-win. To me, it's a win-win. To me, it's a win-win. But listen, y'all, we've been on this chat for about an hour now. Any more questions? I'll answer a couple more questions. Drop a super chat if you got anything extra. Drop a super chat. I'm reading super chats. If not, just drop a regular comment and I will answer questions and wrap this thing up. But I appreciate everyone who's tuned in. Make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. If you have not subscribed, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Any more comments, I will read off the comments. Any more comments on the topic, we're talking about black men should not be paying 100% of the bills. Any more comments? Any more comments or questions, I will be reading them off. Let me see if there's some ones. Reading some of these questions. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Someone said the patriarchy has damaged the male psyche too. I agree. I agree. Kara Terry said, take care. Thanks for being a voice of reason amongst the nutters. Appreciate you. Snuffle says, I'm a dog. Woof, woof, woof. Thank you, Victorious One. Great conversation as well. Great live stream host. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you go check out some other content on my page. We are building this platform out. I do social commentary. I talk about black culture. I react. I do have some skits that I did. A lot of skits I did in the past. I try to do a skit at least once a month. But thank y'all for tuning in. And appreciate y'all. And I hope I'll see you on the next live stream. Thank you.